When Kathy Emmons was born, her first words were, "Go Bucks!" You're listening to The Ride Home with Kathy Emmons on Word FM.
That might be true. That actually might be true. Have to ask my mom and dad when I see them next. I'm so happy, keeping that in mind and keeping the current state of the Pirates in mind. I mean, every time I think they've fallen off, they fight back. I am super geeked about the second half of the season and always thrilled to have my good friend Clint Hurdle on the program. Clint has had an incredible career in Major League Baseball, playing for and coaching several Major League Baseball franchises. But of course, he's most known and most loved for managing the Pittsburgh Pirates from 2010 to 2019, where he was named Sporting News National Manager of the Year, along with the Baseball Writers Association National League Manager of the Year. Clint, welcome in.
Good morning, Kathy. How are you?
I'm well. I want to ask you, though, I was just thinking last night, I saw Jay Hay showed up on TV, and it kind of got me back to the 2013 days. I mean, we still miss you here in Pittsburgh. That was a really those were some special years, huh?
Well, they were, and I think for so many people, different people at different levels. I thought I understood the angst of the city after 18 consecutive losing seasons.
Yeah.
But then being in charge for two more years where we lost, and we started off really well and had really hard finishes in 11 and 12. The angst was high after 20 consecutive losing seasons. And the fan base was disappointed. Some were apathetic. Not many were empathetic, but most apathetic. And probably angry would be a term that could be used in many cases. So for that year to happen and the way it unfolded, 2013, that was such a good job by the coaches and such a fantastic job by the players. We were able to rebond the city with its baseball team and bring playoff baseball back to the Burgh after 21 years of it not happening.
Yep.
And I think as much as anything, that play-in game kind of encapsulated the whole.
The Cueto game.
The Cueto game. Our city showed off. Our fan base showed off. The team showed off. We Cueto'd Cueto into throwing a ball to Martin. He hits in the North Shore notch. But for me, it was knowing that, after the fact, 3 generations of families were at that game. There were grandparents with their kids who had brought their kids.
Yeah.
Had not seen a winning team, had not seen a playoff game. And that just puts a big smile on my heart.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, just in the last week or so, Clint, I heard Jason Grilli on the radio. Of course, Neil Walker's part of the broadcast team. And I already mentioned Jay Hay. And I think I don't want to recreate, life isn't like that. But looking back with affection on that time here in Pittsburgh and knowing the city loves a winner. That's all there is to it.
It's plain and simple, and they've proven it.
Yeah.
So it's not like, well, if we win, will they come? No, they're going to come.
Yeah.
And they're going to come dressed up. They're going to all have their own size, Jolly Rogers. They're going to dress up as pirates. They're going to be loud. They're going to be proud. For 3 years, PNC Park in the North Shore was a competitive advantage for us to play our games at home. And it was a hostile environment for the opposition. And, the playbook was written. It can be followed. It can happen there, regardless of whatever restraints you might think that are there or aren't there. It can happen. You play better baseball. You find a way to pitch it, to hit it, and to field it. They're doing that this year. I mean, this team, for me, as a fan, if this team doesn't get to the playoffs, it will be very disappointing. I just think they've got all the pieces of the ingredients, because I don't like the term pieces for players. Players have a heartbeat. Pieces don't have a heartbeat. But the pieces you think in a puzzle to put together have been put together.
Yeah.
And the players are demonstrating, the fact that their compassion, their cohesion, their commitment is high. And, some things were done in the offseason that hadn't been done in a while. So I'm excited for the second half, just like you are.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to bring up the reason that I called you in the first place. First of all, because you're terrific. But second of all, you tweeted something last week that kind of grabbed my attention. And we're talking about, the 3 terrific years. You had 9 years here in Pittsburgh, but 3 unbelievable years, 13, 14, and 15. But you tweeted, I'm going to pull this up now. You said, I've never held a World Series trophy over my head. I've been 3 times, finished second 3 times, but I know this. I'm not feeling any different today, even if I'd won one. Can that be?
Well, you know what? It's amazing the feedback and the pushback I got from a lot of people that don't think that's possible. And that's okay, because when you do have a social media platform and you put thoughts out, you're going to get responses. And some I listen to, and some, it depends on the content. I can't read tone. I don't try and read tone. If there's a lot of capitals involved, it usually sets off my alarm that, I'm an adult. I don't need you to type me capitals to make your point.
Right.
But my meaning is this, okay? Those situations are over. I can't go back. You said earlier, I can't go recreate them and have a win of a World Series somewhere along the line. However, everything that has happened to me in my life has shaped me in a certain way, shape, or form, whether it be as a man, a husband, a father, a friend, a coach, or a manager. I would not be the person I am today if those things didn't take place the way they did. So who am I to say, no, if I had a World Series championship, I would feel better today? I really don't believe for 1 second, not one part of me feels like I would feel different. I would feel any different this morning when I woke up. I'll feel any different tonight when I go to bed. And people will push back on that. No, you would. And then you would be able to share so much more. No, I wouldn't be able to share so much more because it didn't happen. It happened the way it happened. And truthfully, the lessons learned along those journeys. And if you have a minute, give me a second, because I want to tell on the air the story behind that season in 2013.
Yeah.
I was challenged by Vera Clemente in 2012.
Really? Challenged in what way?
I was not aware of the magnitude of Clemente Day, September 15th in Pittsburgh. In 2011, we have Clemente Day, and the entire organization deploys. We go everywhere in the city with our hats, with our 21 jerseys, with our whatever we can put that signifies Roberto, to honor the legacy of the man, the humanitarian, the ball player. We go all over the city. And then Vera and the boys come in for the game. And, it's a big deal. And at that time, we had already nailed the year before, it was a 19th consecutive losing season. At that point in 2012, we were already mandated as having our 20th consecutive losing season.
Yeah.
So each time Vera would, the first time she said, hello, appreciate all your hard work. Not in English, in Spanish, to her son, please, I hope you guys get better. Yes, so do I, and we'll do everything we can to. And, thanks for trying hard, but she left it at that. The next year when we met, it wasn't quite the same hug. It was more like a small embrace. And not that I knew something was on her mind, but it just wasn't the same. And after we had our pleasantries, we spoke a little bit through Roberto Jr., who's translated. She told Roberto, I want to speak to Clint in the dugout. Okay, so Vera and the 3 boys and I go in the dugout. And she sets him down and starts talking to him in a very firm, stern manner. Now, I spent 4 years in winter ball. I took 3 years of Spanish, and I know Spanish. I understand it way better than I speak it. But I couldn't quite grab the content of what she was saying. I knew she was passionate. There seemed to be some anger. And this was a woman that was making a point.
Wow.
And I'd never seen her in this state before. So she finished and she looks at Roberto and nods like to tell him. And Roberto goes, my mother wants you to understand that she does appreciate your hard work. And the hard work is so many, but it's 20 consecutive losing seasons. There will not be a 21st consecutive losing season, because that would disrespect Roberto's number, his legacy, and everything he stood for.
Whoa.
So I get goosebumps even now when I think about that. And Roberto looks at me and I look at Vera. Normally, I've had a little education with press and with interviews, and I normally think what I'm going to say in my mind before I open my mouth, which has proved to be a big blessing for me because it didn't always work that way in the past. So this time nothing worked. And out of my mouth comes, Vera, I promise you we will not have a 21st consecutive losing season. And as soon as I said it, the other Clint's on my shoulder going, what you're an idiot. And the words can't come back. The genie was out of the bottle.
Right.
So she looks at me and she goes, and she looks at him and she just she says, you'll correct. I hope so. I believe you. And then she walks away and Roberto grabs me and goes, do you understand what you just did? And I go, yeah, I think. My voice is cracking, the male whiny voice when we're caught or something. Right. I go, yeah, I know what I said. And he goes, you promised my mother you wouldn't lose next year. You would have a winning season. And I go, yeah, I know. And he goes, I hope you can back it up. And I said, well, Roberto, so do I. Now, Kathy, I didn't tell anybody that story for years. I didn't tell my wife the story for a number of years.
You never told, like when it happened,
Nobody. I didn't tell this story until 2025 at the Anchor Point
counseling
gala.
Yeah, their fundraising
Roberto
gig.
Jr. sitting next to me with his wife.
I did. I think I was there that night.
Yeah, and I'd never told the story, but I'm sitting down next to him. I go, hey, remember remember your mother when she sat me down? And he goes, oh my gosh. Yeah, I go, I've never told that story. Would you mind if I told? He goes, you've never told that story to anybody? I go, no, only my wife. And that was a few years ago. No. He goes, oh my gosh, Clint, please tell that story wherever you go, whenever you go. And, I've had many people ask me why I didn't. And truthfully, I didn't want to put that burden of responsibility on anybody else.
Right, of course.
Can you imagine if I bring it to the players?
Right, I know.
If the press finds out that I did, and then the season doesn't go, or just like this season, it's ups and downs. It's a roller coaster. You can go on the internet any day. I hate the Pirates. I love the Pirates. They're the worst team. They're the best team. How can Billy Cook play? Oh, it's Billy's cooking day. I mean, it's maddening.
Right.
That's why I don't do it. But I catch the drift because people continue to share things with me. But that weight of responsibility. See, I can't put a price tag on that. But the next year to show up and see Vera, and we're going to the playoffs, and we broke the spell, and all of it, the hug I got from that woman, that hug, I can't imagine holding a World Series trophy would have been more meaningful than the hug I got from her. Tears are coming down. I'm starting to well up. She's welling up. The boys, you can't recreate that type of experience. So the World Series.
What a moment.
3 times. Yeah. It's galvanizing. And people need to know that, I just am so grateful to the players and the coaches for the effort they put forth that year. And then how impactful the way it hit the city. Oh. It hit grandparents. It hit parents. It hit kids. My son had to stop wearing Pirate gear to school early on there because he actually got bullied.
Picked on, I bet.
And picked on and wearing Pirate gear. And your dad's a manager and they stink and they suck and and then for it to turn the way it did, because that 3-year period, you could go anywhere. Yeah, you always see a Steelers shirt. You always see a Penguin, but you saw a Pirate hat.
Yep.
You saw a Jolly Roger wherever you went. So that's what I meant by that statement. A World Series trophy isn't going to make me love my wife anymore. It's not going to make me love my kids anymore. Would I like to have had one? Yeah, sure. But it didn't happen. It wasn't meant for me. But what has been meant for me has been all I could have ever dreamed of.
Okay, but let me ask you, Clint, do you feel like you've come to that understanding and perspective of life because you're a believer in Jesus? Or do you think that that's just part of aging or wisdom or what?
No, I don't believe it's a part of aging. I don't believe a part of wisdom. There's a lot of smart people out there that are fools. I used to be one. But my relationship with Jesus Christ has put me in this position where I don't see earthly treasure the way I did growing up. And the dreams I had as a kid manifested and changed as I got older. We lost our mother last year at 89 years old. It was right before the Pirates came to play us. I'd seen Andrew McCutcheon the day before on an off day. And the next day I talked to my mother at 9 o'clock on the phone, July 31st, 21st, July, and by noon she had passed from a major stroke. I talked to her that morning. Now, that context, my mom and dad were married 69 years. How blessed am I? My mom and dad
Incredible.
retired 3 months apart from each other and were retired for 29 years together. How blessed are us kids? The only time you can see my mom and my dad was when one was in the bathroom after their retirement. And for my mother to pass before my dad, the one thing my mother did for me, she gave me a belief early on, and it was always over the phone or when I'd leave the house to go play a game or do something. She would always tell me, give it everything you got. She told me that morning at 9:30 when I got off the phone, give it everything you got. 12 o'clock that afternoon, she passed. But Jesus tells me to give it everything I've got every day. And he has helped me shape my perspective. What I get is what I get. And to trust him, to know that what he gives and provides for me is way better than anything I could ever imagine, because I can attest to the difference that Jesus Christ has made in my life. Nobody can argue with me about that. And the fact that once I got sober and rededicated my life to Christ 27 years ago, I couldn't have written the script that's taken place. I would have wrote, I thought, a really wonderful script. And it probably would have included a World Series trophy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But no, son, that's not for you. I got something better. I got other things that I want you to learn how to value and hold on to, and then share. And actually, you know what you need to do? You need to go make disciples. You need to go tell more people about me, because when I get to heaven, Kathy, he's not going to set me down and say, okay, dude, how many games did you win? He's going to say, Clint, I put you in that chair for a reason. How many boys did you bring to Christ?
Yeah. Listen, Clint, it has been such a pleasure to reconnect. I in my heart, I still miss you. Love Donnie Kelly, love the current Pirates, but those days that you were here, man, they're here forever.
I love you, and I could not believe it. You can reach out to me anytime. This is so cool.
Terrific.
Thank
All
you.
right. That's Clint Hurdle. You got to check out his new book. Listen, it's called Hurdleisms, Wit and Wisdom from a Lifetime in Baseball, which is what he has had. Clint Hurdle, my friend, thank you so much.
I love you, girl. Thank you. Bye.